Ever feel like the bad guys in space operas are a little one-dimensional?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like they're just there to be, bad.
Right, the evil foil.
Exactly. But today we're going deep, and I mean deep, into the psyche of some seriously misunderstood antagonists.
Oh, tell me more. This is right up my alley.
We're diving into Cassandra's Tears. You've given us excerpts from this sci-fi story, and it throws us right into this standoff.
Tense.
Oh, incredibly. Humanity versus those enigmatic raiders, the Vanduul.
Now, those are some antagonists you don't want to mess with.
Absolutely. And what's interesting is this isn't just another wave of alien warships,
Oh, so it's not just pew lasers and explosions.
Well, there's some of that. It is sci-fi after all. But the story uses this encounter with our protagonist Cal tailing a Vanduul fleet to really flip the script.
I see. So, tell me about Cal. What's his deal? Why is he on the tail of this Vanduul fleet?
So Cal, he's fresh off a raid on his own people.
Wait, his own people?
Yeah, it's complicated. We'll get into that. But he's playing this, well, it's a dangerous game of chicken with these Vanduul.
High stakes.
He's after something they took, but it's the way he's watching them, observing them. It's almost like he's more anthropologist than a pilot.
Interesting. Like he's trying to understand them, not just fight them.
Right. And the text, it emphasizes how little we actually know about the Vanduul.
Serious, huh?
Each clan operates so differently, but their tech.
Ah, their tech, always fascinating with the Vanduul.
It's like an extension of them, almost biologically integrated.
Now that is a unique spin on alien adversaries. Not just using tech, but being tech.
Totally. And speaking of tech, you've got these like cutting-edge Vanduul warships, sleek, deadly. But then Cal mentions this beat-up old farm vessel.
A what? That doesn't sound very
You
intimidating.
know, right? But it's tagging along with this fleet, paints this picture of them being resourceful, sure, but also maybe a bit too reliant on their gadgets.
Too reliant, you say?
Yeah, because that reliance on tech, it makes them, well, predictable. And that's where things get really interesting.
Predictable in what way? Tell me more.
Well, the story mentions them inspecting hull damage after a battle. Like they have procedures, a sense of almost like pride in their craftsmanship.
Pride. In the heat of battle. That's new.
You'd think that pride, that predictability would make them an easy target, but
Oh.
Cal uses that reliance on tech to sneak around. Like he gets his ship blasted to pieces
Oh, no.
and still manages to outmaneuver them. Talk about guts.
Wow. That Cal's got some nerve.
Right. So they're complex, these Vanduul, they've got their quirks. But just when you think you're starting to get them, the story throws this curveball. Another ship shows up,
Uh-oh. Another player in the game. This can't be good.
and it's not human military.
Human, but not military. No flags, no insignias, nothing. And here's the kicker. They're accepted. Welcomed, even, by the Vanduul.
Talk about a twist. It's like someone flipped the game board, scattered all the pieces. Suddenly it's not just us versus them anymore.
Exactly. Cassandra's Tears does a brilliant job here of taking this conflict, this black and white, and muddying the waters.
Because now we've got these human collaborators in the mix. And they're not just along for the ride. They've got this whole arrangement going on with the Vanduul, right?
Oh, it's way more than just an alliance of convenience. The text mentions large pieces of tech, changing hands like it's just another day at the spaceport. Makes you think, what could be so valuable?
We're talking about a force that just raided a human settlement.
And not just any settlement. This was, well, we'll get to that. But the point is, this goes beyond just some opportunistic looting.
Yeah, way beyond. These collaborators, whoever they are, they've got a line straight to the top. The story implies it might even be Black Talon himself.
Black Talon. Now, for our listeners who don't know, he's
A bit of a legend. Even among the Vanduul, his name carries weight, fear. This isn't just some rogue element.
So we're talking about a potential black market arms deal, a tech exchange. Something big is going down here, and nobody seems to know about it except Cal. And that's the beauty of Cassandra's Tears. It goes beyond just spaceships and blaster fire. It forces us to look at the bigger picture, the messy realities of war.
Because how well can we ever really know our enemy, right? Especially when there are those within our own ranks who are willing to blur the lines, let's say.
And that's what makes Cal's mission even more important. He didn't go rogue on a whim. He couldn't trust the official channels. He couldn't trust anyone. He knew something was going on.
This wasn't just about recovering something stolen. This was about exposing a conspiracy that could unravel everything.
It's a classic case of things are not what they seem. While everyone else is focused on the battles, the skirmishes, the real danger is hidden in the shadows.
And, just when you think Cal's got his hands full with all this, trying to figure out these Van Duel, what they're up to, what they cook,
He always seems to find himself in over his head.
doesn't he? But that's what makes him such a compelling character, Never a dull moment.
That's for sure. But this time, it feels different, riskier. He's not just facing off against an enemy fleet anymore.
Because now he's got those human collaborators to worry about.
Exactly. And the way the excerpt describes it, Cal's literally trapped, hiding in the underbelly of a Van Duel flagship.
Oh, that scene gave me chills. The tension is just palpable.
It's like a classic spy thriller, only set in space. And what's brilliant is, we never really know the motivations of these collaborators, do we?
That's true. The story just kind of throws us in, leaves us guessing.
Uh-huh.
Are they driven by greed, desperation?
Or maybe something even more complicated. It makes you think about the choices people make in times of conflict. What lines are they willing to cross?
And that ending.
With Cal hiding in the shadows.
Oh, man.
Plasma rifles humming in the background. Hushed conversations. Did they see him? Did they not? I need to know.
And that's the beauty of Cassandra's Tears. And really good science fiction in general. It doesn't just entertain, it stays with you.
You're left with this sense of unease. Like, if humans are willing to work with the Van Duel, who can you really trust?
And what could be so important that it's worth risking everything for. We never do find out what was stolen, do we?
We have some theories, and maybe in part 2 of this story we'll get some answers. But for now.
We're left with more questions than answers, that's for sure.
And you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. So until next time, keep exploring those star systems, keep asking those tough questions, and as always,
Happy reading.